Okay, welcome back everyone. So, in this part of the video, Laura will share some specific things about Stanford and how she got into Stanford. So, Laura, can you please share the story you discussed in your personal statement and maybe one from your supplementary essay?
Sure. So my personal statement doesn't have that much of a story component to it, so I'll share from one of my supplement.
Okay.
So one of the essays, or one of the questions, was to describe the moment that I would want to see. And I wrote about the discovery of the chili pepper, because also it's twofold. First, I really like spicy food, and that's very important in my hometown cuisine. So I just thought I would be interested to see how this whole spicy thing started for humans. The other aspect is I feel like the fact that we as humans, or at least some of us, some of us like spicy food is such an interesting phenomenon because spicy isn't exactly a taste like sweet or bitter, more of a kind of pain. The fact that we subject ourselves to pain and get pleasure out of it when we are eating, I just think it's really fascinating. And I feel like my personal explanation for that is I feel like when we eat spicy food, even though we do experience a certain pain, but we also know that that pain is harmless, that it's not actually going to harm us in any substantial way. And that knowledge combined with the pain give us thrills. So it's basically like when you're watching a thriller movie or when you're riding a roller coaster. Right. You feel the threat, but you also know that you're safe. And I feel like there's probably just some human psychology going on that makes that type of feeling appealing to us.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting how you like delved into this topic of like, is it chili pepper? Like in such a different perspective, right? So I think, yeah, that's a really cool point. So fascinating story, right? Okay, so like, when you applied to Stanford, did you apply during your because I know there's like REA, so it's restrictive early action or like regular decision. So which one did you apply?
I applied during the early round, so restrictive early action.
Right. Okay. So do you think that actually increased your chance of getting into Stanford, or is it kind of equal?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's so difficult to tell on these things, especially because they don't release their data, like
Right.
the specific breakup of the percentage. But I also feel like even if they did, it's still kind of difficult to tell because I think arguably applicants who apply during the early round are perhaps more likely to be more prepared because they will have to have everything that they need done by an earlier date, or that feel more strongly about going to Stanford, and therefore they're more likely to have poured time into their like essays and just overall the application. So I feel like there are a lot of different factors
Right.
might affect the like acceptance rate during the two different rounds. And so it's difficult to say whether like given this applicant, would this person have more chance during this round or the other round? Because I just feel like we can't.
Right, because I think there's so many like unpredictable factors, and it's not like okay, you got like SAT 1590 or like TOEFL 120, and then you just get in. I think Stanford's not like that, but it's mostly like a holistic approach and to seeing like who you really like who you are as a person, which I think, of course, Laura has a really interesting soul, so maybe that's why they wanted to have you in their school. Because I mean, Stanford's also like an amazing school, so yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So Why did you choose to like apply to Stanford? Because we know that's a great school, but is there anything like in particular that made you want to study there?
Well, the short answer is not really, and the reason that I say it is because I was very not invested in my school research, and
Mm-hmm.
I for that, I feel like, um, I feel like I don't know what I want from my college education. Part of the reason is because now when I look back on when I applied to uh, different high schools, the things that I liked about some of the high schools back then, now that I look back, were just really random points. It might just happen to be that, while I was at this school and while I was on tour with the tour guide, this tour guide specifically happened to have mentioned this point about happened to have mentioned this about this school, and I thought, oh, that was really cool. That's part of the reason why I would have wanted to go to that school. But it might turn out that pretty much every other school had that. It's just that I didn't happen to know about them. So I feel like much there's so much randomness in what I happen to know about a school, or and I also feel like I don't have a good judgment of what I would want in the following 4 years, because like 4 years ago, the reason that I like my high school right now is totally different from the reason or the like it now. So I feel like it's just difficult for me at this point to know what actually is the best for myself. So it's almost like I compare it to like going into like wanting to date,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know what type of person you want to date, so it doesn't
Right.
really help know like your potential candidates inside out, because still you don't know what you want, and so like it doesn't help if you know them like really really well, and so and I was also so I just did a whole bunch of school research, and so in the end helped me make the decision, or
Mm-hmm.
um, well, you could say pretty small details like I like the weather, I like the location because I can um, fly directly to hometown without having to connect. Um, and I have a friend who went to the same high school with me but graduated earlier, and in Stanford, I really liked her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, biased me for this school. So, all kinds of unreliable
Yeah,
reasons, I
I
feel like.
see. Because
But I
sometimes, mm-hmm. No, go on.
more,
Yep.
so I just kind of whatever.
Yeah, because sometimes it might just be like that instinct. Okay, like okay, I just love that school, so I'm going there. I mean, that's totally fine. Because like, so sometimes we'll just like you said earlier, like it's just like choosing who you want to date, right? Sometimes you don't have a specific reason of why you like that person. You just like, I think, like that's the right connection there. So I think it's exactly the same with choosing colleges, and I think yeah, that's totally fine because sometimes like your feeling for that specific school or like environment or teachers or friends there, they're like I think that's actually a huge part of it because I mean we're human, so like we're emotional creatures, right? I mean yeah, that's I think that's a really great point there. Okay, so which major did you actually choose? So, like, because you mentioned IOL just now, the International Linguistic Olympiad. Did you actually end up choosing something related to that?
Yeah, so um, my first antenna major was linguistics, and the reason I like I guess I tried to make some sense of it, but like I could how linguistics kind of at the intersection of humanities and STEM, so it has a little bit of both, and I really like. I feel like I can't really because I feel like if I just learn pure humanities or just pure STEM for 4 years, I'd probably be crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
I need a little bit of both in life to be functional. But I also feel like more of that is just again intuitively. it's interest, and because it's interesting, then it's intuitively meaningful. And I just like languages. Um, I feel like they're a very fundamental part of the human experience. Um, and like I can't really why linguistics is more interesting to me than biology. Mm-hmm. It just kind of for whatever reason maybe experience maybe like just genetic. just yeah. I just happen to really like linguistics.
Okay, yeah. Because I think it's really great to actually just like, well, do something you enjoy doing, and that's a really important point. So, before you applied to Stanford, did you manage to actually go on campus, or is there anything interesting you've heard about Stanford?
So, I went to a summer camp called the Stanford Summer Humanities Institute. Yeah, there for 2 weeks, but we also had a lot of readings, and I was a slow reader, so I didn't do much outside of reading the readings that I had to read. But one thing, like a random fun fact, not even fun fact, a random fact. Ariaga, which is the dining hall that we went to, has a good roasted chicken breast. Like really good, really good. It's just like blew my mind in terms of how tasty chicken breast can be. So yeah, end of a very random point.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because like I know like Stanford has a lot of different dining halls because like from like I went to some other summer camps at Stanford, and then like I was amazed every time how I was like at a different dining hall. Like there's I think one's like by that lake or that river you would call it, and then like so they have a I mean Stanford's really large, so I mean have a lot of different like dining halls, and I was like, okay, so how do I go around Stanford? And then the first time, like when I went to Stanford, I was using Google Maps, which was kind of, yeah, because I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, once you get used to it, maybe it'll get better. But yeah, I do agree. The food there is actually pretty nice. So I mean, that's of course like an important aspect of life, right? Eating and enjoying food, right? Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, Laura, for sharing in our second video, and I'm sure we all enjoyed learning about Stanford's food, right? And also a lot of reasons why you chose to select Stanford as your major, not your major, Stanford as your school, right? Okay, so in the next video, Laura will discuss more about all of those, like what all of these mean to her, and like some extensions about who Laura is as a person. Okay, so please stay tuned to our next video.